Yeah, my kind of like initial idea was to maybe try and come back to sort of this area. I feel like there's quite a nice like sort of consolidation zone in this area here. Before kind of seeing a continued sell-off. Long term, I am bearish on equities. So, maybe try and get something along the lines of this. On the 4-hour time frame, I would love to try and see these lows here get taken. Obviously, that's quite a drop away. But with how overinflated the US market has been now for about 2 years, I can definitely kind of see a huge sell-off coming in the somewhat near future. So I'd love to kind of see like the next 6 months just be huge bearish moves. I did almost catch sells from this area here because on the 4-hour time frame, I basically wanted to try and see. I can't remember which candle it was. Was it this candle? Yeah. So going off of this last bullish candle before we kind of really got a nice breakdown, and then obviously a continued break, giving us new lows. I wanted to basically a retest from this area, but I was tempted to try and enter off of this zone, but I was really trying to target the 50% mark. And then TPs would have been the lows between this point and the point of retest. So your TP would have been this low here. Would have been an insane trade if I'd have actually got in at the 50%. Your stop loss would have been just above the order block. And I've done it the wrong way around, but you get the point. You're risking 39 points roughly for about 1,600 points. Rudy, yeah, I'm losing my voice a little bit, but it's a lot better than it was. It's kind of why there's been no advancements on like the content creation side of things. I've not really been YouTube appropriate to say the least. We've got about 10 minutes until the US markets open, guys. So we're mostly just chilling out until that point. It's actually been a really, really interesting week for me. I've actually made some rather nice plays, but I've not quite managed to hold them as long as I'd have liked to. So Monday, I managed to get sells just from, I believe, this candle here I entered off of, and my stop loss was basically just a high. And I was just really trying to turn a quick scalp trade into a bit of a swing, and I ended up getting out just at Asia lows here. So that kind of set us for a really nice week. Tuesday, I was pretty bullish on the day, but I wasn't quite seeing anything that I was interested in until kind of after my usual trading hours. So my New York session box, that's usually just the hours that I actually trade. It's not the full extension of the New York hours. And basically it was kind of just around here that I was really interested. And so I ended up managing to get longs somewhere around here. I got an amazing entry, and my stop loss was just there. And we could have ran it for, just a ridiculous target. And originally my exit target was Asia high, and I kind of had different TPs. So I had sort of New York high, London high, and Asia high as my main TPs. Oh no, actually, I've got it wrong. I was in from somewhere around here, I believe. I think I was in from 97. Yeah, because I was in with 4 contracts. I trade futures, so it's contracts, not lots. So effectively, I was in with 4 lots, but I closed one just as we took this high here, and then that's when my stop loss was kind of break even at that point. But as you can see, it just kind of sat in this zone for ages, and then we came very close to being break even. and then we kind of pushed back up. And I didn't really want to be sat in the trade for too long, so I ended up closing everything just as we broke this new high. So I got out of the whole trade, and then literally just as I got out, that's then when we saw the full push and we met all targets that I had, and it kind of bothered me a little bit. The emotions definitely kind of hit, but I just had to step back a little bit and look at the fact that I did actually still come out with profit. My analysis was still right. But then that kind of led into a very similar move the next day. Again, during New York, we kind of just have this sideways motion until after hours. And again, I was bullish on the day. And I ended up catching buys. Where did I end up catching buys? I ended up catching buys just somewhere around here, I think. And again, my stop loss was really low, and I think I got out after like 100 points. Just because, again, it's after my trading hours. I don't want to be, necessarily breaking my rules just to try and catch something every day. But again, it just continued and ended up meeting all of my original targets. I would have had a TP set at New York high and London high. Obviously, Asia high wouldn't, because we already took that during London. And yeah, it was kind of playing with me all week. And then yesterday, I just mostly had to stay out of the markets. I didn't like the fact that we were pushing up straight away from New York. I was kind of expecting us to come down and sweep this low here, and then kind of retest somewhere down here before then catching that sort of continuation to the upside. And the fact that we pushed up straight away kind of just like invalidated that idea. I did try longs somewhere within this zone here. I believe it was from this area just there. So I wanted to keep my stops nice and tight. Where am I looking? Here. Yeah, so we had a little tap into my zone, and I did actually catch longs off of the 100% of this order block. Usually I do try and target the 50%, but I wasn't too interested. I just wanted to try and get a trade, simply just because of how price was treating me. Kind of the previous days, I was kind of adamant that I was going to get a trade, I was going to get a win, blah blah blah. We pushed up, we broke the highs, and I didn't actually secure anything. And then obviously we just came back down, we ate that zone, and I got stopped out. And that's kind of the effect of trying to chase trades has on you. It can definitely set you up for failure and kind of just like blur your vision a little bit. So yeah, I suffered a loss yesterday on that setup, but overall the week's been great. I think I'm up about 7 or 8% this week. So yeah, I really can't complain. It's been great. But now I'm not too sure whereabouts we're heading, because I was definitely expecting NFP to kind of keep the market bullish. I wasn't really expecting us to just immediately sell it off, which then is kind of leading me to think that we're not done traveling to the downside yet, and we don't really want to try and target this consolidation zone just yet. But yeah, I'm not too sure. So we've got just over 3 minutes till the market's open, so I'm just going to kind of watch to see how we react straight away off of the New York volume. What about everyone else? Has everyone else had a profitable week so far? Or has everyone just kind of stayed out? Has anyone made any losses? Always interested to know, guys. Rudy, I saw that you caught a, was it USD CHF? Jet Black, not a good week for me. Yeah, I remember you telling me yesterday, bro. But as long as you're keeping like your morale high, You know, you'll make a comeback. Don't worry. 1% plus. Good shit, Rudy. AJ, decent week for me. Glad to hear it. I obviously know that you got past an extra phase of your challenge account. I was about to say funded account, but that wouldn't have made any sense. What about everyone else, guys? Crypto's got a really interesting thing coming up this weekend, hasn't it? With the White House, I don't even know what to call it, a White House meeting. So yeah, I'm holding my bag of XRP, waiting to kind of see sort of $5 to $10 on that. But I don't know. We had a flash crash not that long ago, and it kind of scared me a little bit just here. Yeah, that definitely worried me a little bit, but we've immediately just bought it straight back up. Trying to kind of make attempts for highs. As you can see, I've kind of got an alert set for around like the $3 mark, but yeah, I'm not intending to sell anything until kind of like the $5 mark at least for XRP. Bitcoin, I don't really touch it. I feel like it's too expensive to really make any decent money from it without having loads of money. Obviously, it's a great asset for kind of billionaires, but for kind of the average person, I wouldn't really recommend chucking your money into Bitcoin, especially when there's other kind of altcoins that will outperform it and offer the same kinds of gains, if not, well, the better gains. Markets open up in 30 seconds. We'll break it down to the 1 minute chart. Well, the markets have opened. We're not getting too much movement so far. Yeah, I mostly just kind of want us to try and push up and have a nice break of these NFP highs. So I feel like today's kind of more of a use it to give you guidance for next week kind of day. Obviously if we can come up and break these highs, then I feel like my sentiment for next week will be bullish. Again, just trying to target that sort of consolidation zone. But if we continue downwards, then it'll either be quite a choppy week or a bearish week. But also, like I was also previously stating, yeah, NQ's been kind of just not doing a whole lot during my trading hours this week. You're kind of getting these later session moves. Yeah, it's been rough, but still managed to come out on top. So we take a win when we get one. ES is pushing, NQ is struggling. I'd say they're pretty matched at the moment. NQ kind of pushed those highs as well. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping that we see some matched price action, because ES has been driving the market a lot recently. And usually you tend to like to see NQ kind of make the move first, and then ES come down to follow, which then gives NQ that kind of continued movement afterwards. But yeah, ES has been kind of leading for the last couple of days, which I know is only a small difference, but it makes a lot of things a little bit more unclear. The question is, do we have any more news planned for the day? We do have a Powell speech, but it's not for another like 3 hours. These other speeches, I don't really class them as ever mattering, to be honest. So yeah, we've got PAL speaking, but we'll be long gone by that point. We are getting that push up that I was after though. So I might wait for a little pullback. Maybe see if we can sort of like retest this area, and then try and catch longs from there onwards. I've already made profit on my futures accounts today, so I think today's going to be kind of focusing on forex. I feel like if we break kind of like these lows here, then the bears have probably won at that point. So we'll probably see a continued bearish day. And obviously this is kind of the third time that we're testing this zone, so the odds that we break this low are quite high. Obviously I'm not wanting them to, but see what happens. Yeah, it would have been a really nice sort of like low risk buy opportunity there. You know, kind of retesting this 50% of the previous order block that I've got marked out, and then, you know, your stop loss just kind of at like the daily lows. First profit target kind of these just okay. First profit target would have been hit, and then you're really just going to be targeting NFP highs from this point. Quite a shame that I didn't take it, but yeah, I was kind of expecting the after a huge red candle like this, you know, you're kind of just expecting that buyers have been burnt out and, you know, sellers are winning, but yeah, Paolo, pretty much. Yeah, the only issue with that setup that you've just shared in the chat though, Paolo, is that this wick here invalidates this zone, and basically what you'd be wanting is how am I going to demonstrate this? So obviously we had this wick out, and then we pushed up, came back down, retested this area, then we pushed back up and we broke these highs, right? So then you'd be wanting a plant of like liquidity, which it kind of did, but at the same time, again, it tapped into these same order blocks here. So you wouldn't really be wanting that. You know, you'd want it to push up, and obviously we also have to note down that it also broke these highs here. We do include the wicks. So then you'd kind of want it to push back down and maybe plant a level around here, then push back up, breaking this high here, and then you'd want it to come back down from that point, sweeping this area of like liquidity that it should have planted, and then coming back in, tapping into this order block here, and then that's when you'd then get buys, and then you target the high that it's planted. So yeah, the fact that as we obviously broke these highs, we've then come back down with no real like liquidity being planted, and just immediately then tapped back into that zone. For me personally, I wouldn't have entered off of that, and obviously I didn't. But yeah, we are kind of in a clear bullish market at the moment. So my goal is definitely going to be this area here for now. Yeah, Paolo, I get what you're saying, bro. I get what you're saying. Like, it was definitely a discount area. You know, it was definitely, there was high value here. You know, you've got this tiny stop loss for potentially huge reward, right? Especially if you're holding it up for like sort of NFP highs. So yes, from a value aspect, huge value in that trade. You know, definitely worth risking sort of like, I don't know, 0.25% or something. what would that even be if you would sort of like retest this area? Stop loss at the low. Yeah, so I mean, you know, if you would sort of risk like 0.25%, you know, you're making like close to what, like 3.5%, 3.25%, something like that. So yeah, huge value. Are you in the trade, Paolo? Are you still in it? You said you banked like 65 points, but I wasn't sure if you were. Oh, okay, fair enough. Damn, bro's getting close to passing. Yeah, no, I agree. There's no reason risking money trying to chase a pass. Like just wait until the markets are good. You know, follow the same kind of plan that obviously got you close to passing, and then yeah, it should be no question. I've been kind of struggling with my forex accounts at the moment. Not from like a losing trades perspective, but just finding no trades. I've been kind of looking, and the only real setups I'm getting are only valid on futures markets because of the low spread. The trades that I'm kind of catching would be stopped out like almost immediately due to spread. If I were to take them on forex accounts, so yeah, I've been struggling a little bit, but that's kind of just because of that 4-hour play that we almost caught. You know, price was so one directional, just to try and then target these TPs. It was just every single day. It was just these crazy drops. And it didn't offer anything for safe trades. Obviously, you could have just jumped in a short and been laughing, but your stop loss would have been huge. The risk on the trade would have been too much to make it worthwhile. But yeah, I'm definitely hoping for the markets to kind of level out a little bit over the next couple of weeks, and that's when my forex accounts will really start seeing some progress. You know what? I thought as soon as I said one directional, I knew someone was going to mention One Direction, and I just I knew it the second it came out of my mouth. Yeah, I'd say possibly any pullbacks for now are going to be kind of worth it for longs. We're getting a really nice sort of buyer response, a nice breakout from this area. But it's going to be really interesting to see how we kind of react to the higher price of like the NFP range. My opinion is we break it, but I mean I'm bullish biased, so for now it's just kind of sitting and waiting. Not the most enjoyable content, but that's the realistic expectation of trading. It's not always entering 100 trades in a day and high volume trading. It's sitting patiently, waiting for your setup, execute it, and then see if you win or not. Which can be quite boring, but I've always found that if trading's exciting, then you're probably risking too much. If it's high tense and you're scared of a stop loss, or you're really, I don't know, urgent for a win, you're definitely risking too much. Trading should be, in my opinion anyway, it should be boring. You come in, you do the exact same thing as you did the day before, and you just rinse and repeat. What do people think of gold at the moment? I know we've been kind of stuck in a bit of a sideways market for a couple of days. Do we think it's finally burnt out? Do we think it's going to drop? Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think we finally kind of retested multiple times like its limit. And yeah, I don't think the road to 3K is going to happen anytime soon. Obviously, I know that with the way that the world is at the moment, something could happen and we just rocket into 3K. But I do think that we're gonna turn bearish. Do you have a price range in mind, Rudy, for whereabouts you think gold's going to go? I'll go on to the spot price rather than the futures contract. I think this kind of area looks pretty nice for a nice like retracement. I mean, if it really wanted to go bearish, then I could kind of see this whole area as another valid target. But yeah, I think if I were to try and like sort of jump onto the sell side, I think I'd be really interested in trying to swing trade it down to here. But it's all about finding that perfect entry, you know. But I don't really trade gold too much. When I do, it's usually pretty like successful. But yeah, I definitely don't look at the market as much as I probably should. Take care, Rudy. It's great to talk to you, man. Have a great weekend. Oh, Palo's gone. I can't bully him. That's a shame. Yeah, I reckon we're going to smash NFP highs. For anyone possibly wondering what I did during NFP to secure a nice win, I can actually show you on my chart. So just here, you can see I secured 7,700 from the trade. And basically, I was waiting for the 29-minute pass candle to try and build, and then that's when I just kind of had like a fixed price difference. So I went I think about 50 or 40 points, sort of like either side. So I just had a buy limit there, and I had a sell limit. I very nearly got wicked into sell limits, which obviously would have been devastating for the account. But again, this is why you just do it on a fun account. But yeah, I ended up. It was like as it was kind of like wicking down. I managed to like move my sell limit because I didn't believe it was going to sell, and I also did believe that I was a little bit too close. And then yeah, we just flew up. I triggered here, and it didn't even have time to actually like trigger my my take profit in time. So it actually was giving me the profit of when it was like kind of up here and then onto like the next candle before it then kind of picked up that actually I closed out here. So I was actually 18, I think it was like 18,800 in profit. And then obviously it recognized that I closed out here and then gave me the 7,700. But yeah, it's kind of why I'm a little less inclined to trade today. But definitely still going to be watching the markets for a little while. And that's also why I'm going to be focusing on my Forex accounts. I have a 100k Victory Prop account, and I also have a 200k account with a different prop firm as well. I'll tell you what, it was a weird feeling, right? Because where was my stop loss? I didn't have one. I was just kind of like just gonna watch the market. Like I said, it was a fun account. It was money I didn't mind losing. So, you know, I just kind of chucked it all in. But yeah, I mean, it's a funded account. You know, it's not my own money. I'm not crazy. But yeah, it was just a funded account that I didn't mind losing. You know, I kept all my other ones safe. This one's not on my copier, and I do literally just use it as a fun account. So if I lose it, I lose it. It's like, I mean, I've already had payouts from it, so even if I did lose it, I'm not actually down anything. I just buy another one and pass it. Which futures accounts are like ridiculously easy to pass. But yeah, it was a weird feeling because like I was obviously I got out the trade and I looked at my P&L and it was like 7,700, right? But I also at the top of your screen, like when you have like a position open, it obviously shows you like your unrealized P&L. And I was a little bit salty that I didn't get the 18.8k. And then I kind of realized how broken a perspective that is. Like I just made 7.7k in like half a second. But then I got salty that I didn't make 18.8, and yeah, it was a crazy like realization moment of like trading has ruined my perception of money. But you know, I mean, it's all fun and games, right? You gotta still enjoy what you do. Okay, we're getting a nice pullback here. I might be interested in like very low risk buys somewhere around here. Possibly. I'm not too sure. I'm also kind of seeing like this zone here that I might see if we drop into. Am I greedy? Yeah, I guess I am. If I was greedy, then I would have done it with all my accounts. But I suppose there's a difference between greedy and stupid, right? Where do you find these images from, bro? Like, what is that? Is that all you do all day? Is just make different images of laughing? What even is it? Is it a pirate? Oh, hey man, what's your job? Oh, I just make laughing pirates all day. To be honest, I wouldn't mind having that as a job. I think that'd be quite cool. I can't draw to save my life though. Um, my partner, she's got like a wall in her bedroom, where basically like people that come over can just doodle on. Uh, you know, and she has like this huge just like collection of like random people's drawings. Um, she made me draw something, and in fact, I'll show you what I drew. Right, so I literally just went. I had like a little stick man like this, right, and I just did a text bubble, and it just said, "Help! I'm stuck in a wall." That was my addition to the collection. It was It was ridiculous. That's, but like to me, that was like the highest level of my drawing. Um, yeah, I remember, bro, when we were playing. Oh, what is it? It's like Scribble, something like that. Scribbler. I don't know. Sketchio, that's it. Yeah. I love it, bro. And then we played poker. That's how you know you're having a boring day on the markets, right? Is when you and the team start playing poker. Okay, we're getting some heavy selling right now. Okay, I'm trying a very small buy with quite a large stop loss. I'm in from about here. I'm gonna have my stop loss just like kind of like the daily low, and basically I just want a retracement back up to this high, and then I want us to come and break NFP highs. So we'll see how it goes. I'm in with one lot, so risking sort of like $600, I guess. Reward will be what, about 1,800. So, but I'm mainly focusing, to be honest, on breaking this high here, and then I'll probably close like the majority of it, and then just let like the rest run. Getting a somewhat nice reaction. I'd like it to be a little bit more bullish than where we are right now. You know what? It's actually kind of trippy how much that happens. Like I'll be talking to my chat and I'll be saying like, oh, I really want this to happen, and as I'm saying that, it just happens. Yeah, it's getting kind of freaky. Gambling on poker is better than gambling on the market. That's facts, bro. Okay, we're getting a nice buy response here. I'm just hoping it can hold. I'm gonna bring my stop loss to break even, just to make sure that I'm actually, gonna secure the trade and make sure that I'm actually playing safe. I feel like this is a good enough sort of like response to really make it worthwhile. I feel like if we drop back and we come back down to here, we're gonna keep going anyway. So there's no point having my stop loss here. If anything, I'll probably try and catch like another buy somewhere in this sort of like discount area, and see if we can get kind of another run. But yeah, it's kind of concerning that we've had this rather large sell off already, and buyers aren't really holding. Yeah, I'm out of this trade, guys. I just got out. I got out like where did I get out? Somewhere around here. I wasn't liking the fact that buyers weren't really stepping in. Obviously now we're probably going to push up. But yeah, I wasn't really enjoying it too much. I secured $500 on that trade, so nothing huge, but it's not too bad. Just gonna bring this back up. Yeah, I am kind of expecting like a little bit of like a rangy day, with maybe like a bullish breakout towards like the evening. And my main reason for saying that is kind of we've already swept like all of the highs and lows of the day. Obviously we had NFP, so you know we are probably going to end up doing that anyway. Obviously we've kind of like respected like this zone down here and pushed up, but the fact that we couldn't quite break these NFP highs, to me it just shows that we're not ready to go up just yet. And yeah, I think I'd just rather just take that small win and keep my account safe than try and hold it. Obviously I could have closed half and let it run, given the fact that my stops were at break even, but I don't know. Something in my gut was telling me just get out, and you know, sometimes you just got to listen to yourself, man. I wouldn't say I'm the master of candles, bro. We had a really nice entry, to be fair. You know, your entry is definitely like one of the most important things that you need to know when trying to trade. You know, you can have all of the stop losses and take profits in the world, but your entry is really what matters, and that's why it's so vital that you know you don't enter early into a trade. You don't, you know, hesitate when trying to enter into a trade. Like, you know, if you see a valid setup, just jump in. You know, but if you see a valid setup, wait for it to actually come to that entry zone for that setup. Don't, you know, I obviously I had this area here marked out, and I noticed that it was quite heavy bearish. I then noticed that it was kind of struggling a little bit in this area here, reacting off of this candle, and so then that's why I jumped in. I waited for that perfect kind of entry. Guts never lie, even if the result is negative. Exactly. I mean, you know, this now could run up straight away, but my gut feeling kept me safe, right? Yeah, all right. It might cost me like what, a K in profit, but it still managed to secure me 500 and kept me safe from either getting stop out or, you know, potentially even slipped if you know we get some weird price action. But yeah, I was happy with buys there. You know, we've obviously had this bullish push, getting back into a nice little discount area. Ended up catching it. Price action's kind of dying off. It does usually die off around this time. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I do still kind of think that we're gonna come break these highs, break NFP highs, but I am also kind of set on just a ranging market. Maybe until like the Powell speech, I guess. The Powell speech could kind of give us that bullish momentum that we actually need to finally have a breakout, and then that will set us in action for next week to really then kind of come back and target that consolidation zone I was speaking about earlier. Overall, not a bad day though, guys. You know, I'm quite happy with what we did. I know obviously it's not my usual kind of setup, but like I was saying earlier, I'm not really getting too many setups at the moment because we are in a bit of like an indecisive market. And when we did have clear direction, the market was too heavily influenced in that direction, and so it wasn't even offering any pullbacks. It was just tanking. But once we kind of get a clear, defined trend, that's when, you know, my streams will definitely start consisting of a lot more of my typical MSS strategy setups. And to be honest, I'm here for it. You know, I'm really excited for that. I absolutely love the MSS strategy. Yeah, I mean silver in general, like it should be worth more than gold, right? Like we're still mining gold. We can't mine any more silver. Like the silver mines are fully like depleted. You know, so there's no more silver being added into supply. Apart from that, that's already been sort of like processed, and now we're just kind of like refining it again. So with that in mind, then the supply is low, the demand is high, so obviously then that means price increases. But yeah, I'd definitely say try and target like a lower price before jumping into longs. My thoughts on XRP. Oh boy, XRP bullish. That's all I have to say for XRP. Obviously, crypto charts, you can't really. Did not expect anything else. Yeah, you can't really do like chart analysis on crypto, I don't think, because literally like one announcement, one tweet, anything like that, and it just rips, right? But given the fact that kind of XRP is going to be used for like almost all US like sort of securities, right? $5 all day, every day, that's where we're headed, right? I believe they've got a huge burn coming up as well, which obviously then lowers the supply. And like I was just saying, for silver, the lower the supply, the higher the demand, the higher the price. So, depending on how much we burn, price could quite easily double. I know that a lot of sort of like experts and stuff are saying, $10 to sort of like $100. Like the CEO of XRP, I think he was saying that he wants it to go to about half the price of Bitcoin. But I mean, you can't really trust the words of a guy who literally runs the company of it. So, you kind of want outside influence as far as that's concerned. But yeah, I mean, I'm holding a bag. My average buy-in price is like 70 cents. Yeah, like my average sort of buy-in price is somewhere around here. I already took some profits when we kind of broke like the $3.20 mark. We had this flash crash, and I ended up actually managing to buy back in. I think I ended up getting filled around like $1.90. But yeah, we're looking good. We're looking good. We've definitely established this price as our new normal, right? And that means when we have bullish news, this high has to then get broken, right? Like if we're really wanting to break out, this high has to go. At which point then, we could quite easily then sort of fly up to like the $4.50 mark. And I'm going to be selling most of my bag around like sort of $5 mark, and then holding a little bit just in case we sort of push like the $8 to $10 mark. But yeah, I'm in this for like the long haul. But I honestly don't think it's going to take too much longer. Another 6 months, and yeah, I fully expect to see this, pushing that $5 to $10 range. Back onto MQ. Yeah. See, the gut is always right. I'm telling you. Obviously we could have banked a little bit of extra profit if we somehow managed to sell at these highs, but overall we've dropped back down, and I got out. So yeah, I'm happy that I closed. And again, it was just that idea in the back of my mind of thinking we're going to be ranging, which means we've come up, now we're going to come down, then we're going to go up, we're going to come down, and then Jerome's going to speak, and hopefully have a bullish breakout. But overall, guys, not a whole lot to say about the markets today. It is Friday. It is NFP day as well. Caught one trade. It was a winner. Obviously, I'm not including the trade that I caught during NFP, because obviously that was outside of the stream. So we've caught one winning trade, like there, and yeah, I'm quite happy with that for the day. It's definitely better sometimes to just kind of know when to stay out. That's definitely the key to trading. That's going to be me. So hope you all have a fantastic day. Obviously, trade safe if you are trading, and remain profitable. And enjoy your weekend, guys. and hopefully catch you all in the next stream.